Hello everybody, I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. It's Jared Johnson here, back again with some All About Pips updates. We've got lots of things going on in the markets. We had lots of movement last week, and I anticipate some fair movement this coming week from a couple of pairs, so let's talk about those. But I hope you guys all did have a great weekend and you're all rested up, because we should have a fairly active market this week. Couple of things to look at real quick. Let's have a little peek at the news. We have a couple of announcements coming out this week, and the only ones that I consider to be fairly important. We have a lot of red announcements, which are all usually pretty important, but retail sales aren't making a huge bump lately in the market, so that's not going to be a huge deal, I don't think. We're going to have to look at those, and if we can get lots of positives or lots of negatives collectively coming out, we could see something happen from that. But really about the most important thing that I think will be coming out this week will be the FOMC meeting minutes, which is happening Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. I think that's going to give the market a little bit of a better idea of what economists are really looking for and waiting for and hoping for, and get some inflationary reports from that, kind of some ideas of what the Fed's thinking about doing. And I think that's probably going to be one of the most important announcements this week. But everything else I don't think is hugely tradable. Nor is this one, but I think this will help give some direction to the market. But we do have lots of retail sales for various countries, so keep an eye on that, but shouldn't be too major, so we'll just kind of keep our eyes out on that. Okay, let's talk about the charts. Euro dollar, I don't really have anything majorly in mind on this one. I don't think that too much is happening right now, and so I'm probably not going to take a single trade on this pair this week unless we can see some big breakout movements. We're still very nicely in what I think can be at least a very significant short-term summer channel, about this 137.40 to 143.30 area on the euro dollar is just continuing to bounce in between, although it is slightly within this triangle right here. I still don't think much is going to happen, so I'm probably not going to do too much on this pair. We have a little bit of some downside movement looking like it may happen right here, but like I said, I think I'm probably going to stay out of this until we can get a little bit more of a clear idea of which way markets are going to move. Now, in conjunction with that, in conjunction with which way the dollar is headed, where the dollar is going to go, I'm going to kind of probably stay out of dollar pairs this week to some degree, because I think the dollar is somewhat directionless. We're seeing oil starting to decline. That can affect the direction of the dollar a little bit. We're seeing the Dow. The Dow has been in a big downtrend the last several months, but the last week it's been in a little bit of a downtrend as well. So that could start moving the dollar in an area of strength, into an area of strength. But one thing that I thought was fairly interesting is looking at the 5-year gold chart. We're looking at all the way back here to 04, January 04. And we see that gold has continued to hit this high right here. We have this high of about $1,000, $1,002.80, and it just continues to hit that area. So I think we need to really see some sort of break, some sort of direction happen here. And I don't know if gold's ready to break that level just yet. I don't think it's ready to break $1,000. I don't think our markets are ready for that. So as gold starts to come off this level by a significant amount, we're at about $913, $12, $13 right about there. If we can get some below $900 prices on gold, I think that's going to strongly influence the dollar in the direction of strength. So we should see like the euro pair, euro dollar and pound dollar start to move down if we can get gold starting to move down here. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. But we've had this major hit here at about the $1,000 mark. So as it breaks below 900, I'm expecting some trend downward to start happening on the euro dollar, pound dollar, and so on. So that's kind of what I'm going to be waiting for to help me identify a couple of things. Gold has always been a really good pair to watch in correlation with the US dollar, as well as some other pairs, but particularly the dollar. As gold strengthens, the dollar weakens, and vice versa. So I'm hoping that gold will weaken a little bit so this dollar can strengthen, so that we can get some sort of direction out of this. So euro dollar, nothing too significant. Pound dollar, I think this pound dollar is looking a little tiny bit better. This pair may be able to get some downward movement on us. I think we've got a little ways to go, well, we do have a little ways to go before hitting this this several month long uptrend line right here. We've got what I think could be a possible summer channel at about the 15800. So there's a little bit of room to go down. So I think there is some selling opportunity on this pound dollar, but I'm just going to have to kind of wait and see as we get a little bit closer to the open of the London session. Basically, I'm probably just going to be looking for a little bit of a break of this low right here. But once again, dollar pairs are not really my main focus. What I am looking at quite a bit are the yen pairs. As always, these yen pairs can move like crazy, and I'm really looking to see if these yen pairs can start to move a little bit. Euro yen, Aussie yen, very good ones to watch. Traders are buying up the yen like crazy, and we're seeing that hugely reflected in all of these yen pair movements. We saw the big breakout happen of our 6-month trend. The market just dumped right through that level and gave us a nice little run, and so now we're seeing just some nice consolidation. It stopped down there at S3, and I think that as the market starts to roll again towards the beginning of the London session, I think these pairs will start to head down. But once again, I will not be entering anything in these guys until later on, midnight, 1 a.m. California time, Pacific time. So I'll be looking at that to happen. So we've got a couple hours left. It's only about 8:30 p.m. right now, my time. So there's a couple hours left before anything happens there. Same thing on the Aussie yen. We have just basically the exact same picture. One thing that's going to be an interesting pair, I think, is this euro pound. Just like we've been watching here, we have this big, long 4-month trend. Broke out, did what all pairs seem to do when they break angled trend lines. Broke, came up, came right back down and tested the now top of this trend line before continuing upward. So I think that this euro pound will be good to watch. Once again, I'm just kind of looking for a little break of this high right here to get this pair heading back up again. So really, all in all, what I'm looking for is we don't have really any great Sunday night trade setups on any of these pairs. So I'm really looking for the euro yen and the Aussie yen to just basically continue down. They're both under our blue line. They're nicely under the weekly pivot. They're just kind of sitting at the Dharma right now. Same thing over here. So they're just under everything they need to be under to help influence a downtrend. So I'm just basically waiting to get a little bit closer to the London session, and we will look at jumping into those, probably in a sell position. Lots of room to go to the downside, so we'll just keep our eye on that, as well as waiting to get a little bit closer to the London session to look at doing anything with this euro pound. I think this pair will be continuing up probably fairly nicely as well. We have some pretty good little signals and some things that lead me to believe that this is going to be probably a pretty good pair to be keeping an eye on. As always, we need to have some good discrepancies between the euro dollar and the pound dollar to get any good movement out of the euro pound. So we have to keep that in mind. We don't really have a huge amount of it right now. Both euro dollar and pound dollar are kind of doing the same thing. So if that continues, then we may see much smaller movement on the euro pound. And in that case, I will just keep my eyes more on the euro yen and the Aussie yen, as well as kind of keep my eye on the Aussie dollar. But mostly the yen pairs, I think, are really the thing to look at right now. Like I've said, I don't like to trade the euro pound too terribly much. But if this one can continue down just a little bit more and kind of follow the pair of, or the direction of the rest of the yen pairs, we should see some good things happening there as well. So there's lots coming up. We're going to talk a lot about the equities markets this week, how those are affecting things, oil prices, metals, precious metals. We're just going to talk a little bit about everything this week, but most importantly, we'll be on the chat room at about midnight, between midnight and 1 a.m. Pacific time. So we'll be talking about what these pairs are doing and what I think might happen. But overall, I'm shooting for some short positions in the euro yen, Aussie yen, possible short position in the pound dollar, staying out of the euro dollar, and looking for a long position in the euro pound. And that's what we'll keep our eye out on for. If anyone has any questions, just shoot me over an email or jump in the chat room, and we'll see how everything goes. And until then, we'll see you later, guys. Have a great trading night, and we'll talk to you in a couple hours.